Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Leo. If Leo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what these tea leaves have to say. All right, and so it is the middle of the day. And as you probably can hear, there's some ambient sounds. And, not much I can do about that, unfortunately. But I thank you for joining me. And our card today is the Fool. So this is some good energy. My goodness, it's so interesting. This last 2 days, we've had so many of these formations where the arms are reaching up. I feel like there's just really a collective sense of looking towards that cosmic consciousness in the sky, right? Or at least, the imagery of looking towards the sky. And really just kind of calling out into the universe, looking for guidance, looking to be heard, maybe praying. I don't think that there's anything going wrong, but there is maybe there, collectively, the world maybe is a little in chaos. It always is, isn't it? But I think, there is a sense of wanting to feel, a real deep connection with the divine, feeling affirmed in our faith and our belief, and that intuition that we have, that there's something beneath all the surface stuff. And if you're like me, you find yourself maybe outside late at night looking up at the stars, contemplating what is all of this, what does my life kind of mean, why was I chosen, or why did I choose to be who I am, and all these kind of really big existential questions. And I think sometimes we just come into these parts of our life where it's really important to allow ourselves to explore some of these topics. These are kind of some of the things, at least this is what they say, that, and by they I mean the philosophers, they say that this is what separates us from the rest of the universe or animal kingdom or whatever. I don't know how true or real or whatever that is, but it is something that we share among our humanity, right? Is that we think about these big, deep questions. We wonder constantly about our existence. And so, this one's so interesting. We have, it looks like a person standing here, and then we have maybe two people here, but all together really create this circle. It almost looks like it's standing on a platform, and then there looks like there's an eye in the middle. Okay, so this is a really interesting symbol to me. And really kind of relates some of the thought that we kind of all are so interconnected. We are part of the same story, right? Kind of like an ever-evolving, stretching net infinitely into, the histories, the universes, and so on. We are all connected. It's kind of, I like to think of things as kind of being very fractal, right? We're all just part of this big fractal whatever it is, huge consciousness, all mirrored little pieces of self and selves and the great self. And, without one another, everything would come falling down, right? And so, we can go through life feeling like we are alone, lonely individuals, apart from everything else. And, maybe in some ways we are. But in the deeper ways, we are not, right? We're all just aspects of each other. And, and this is why community is important. This is why family is important. And it's important, I think, to some degree, to go out and find that for yourself. Does it have to always be human? No. Maybe you like to be among the animals. Maybe you like to be among the plants. Maybe you like to spend your days in the ocean, swimming, surfing, whatever. These can be our communities as well, right? And so, I feel with that full energy, the Fool really is an interesting one because it is the zero, right? It is kind of the archetype that is closest to God, because there are no attachments. And you might view the Fool as being alone, being the individual out there, solitary, walking through the landscape without a care in the world, not really even aware, kind of oblivious to what's going on. But to me, the Fool is kind of that being that is closest to the divine, can walk through in between those kind of borderlands. They see, I always think about how, what if we go through life and like things and people we interact with, we just take for granted that, oh yeah, that's just the person that, that I met at the grocery store, or, some lady that lives down the way, and when I walk by, I wave to her, I see her in her window or whatever. And what if these people are not, they don't exist in the same way that we do? What if they're like ghosts, or, spirit, or some kind of other spirit, or, even a manifestation of our own psyche, and maybe all these things are kind of true, we don't verify with each other if we all experience things the same way. It's the same way I think about how, if we see two color, we're all looking at the same thing. If we agree upon it to be, okay, this is red, or a shade of red, but we are all seeing something different, right? That from a young age always blew my mind. There's this consensus kind of hallucination. We all kind of agree upon it. But it has to be varied from person to person depending on their experience. And so, I think that really speaks to that Fool archetype within us. And because that feels unsafe to realize that we all kind of are our own witness, in our own little universe, that we live, differently than each person, although we are interconnected, that can feel very like alienating, like we are out here alone, right? How can we really know one another? How can we really truly experience one another? So we push away from this feeling because it doesn't feel safe, right? But this is kind of where I think, the shaman, the medicine person, holy people, just maybe people who have different, makeups of their brain chemistry, whatever, a variety of different kinds of people. They exist on this fringe, right? And usually we don't, I get close to that sometimes, especially when I was younger. I was a lot into that world, I think. And I would get scared, you know, and you want to feel like we all have the same experience. We can all agree on it. We all know this is the truth, right? This is our empirical truth right here. And we all know, you know, but do we? You know what I mean? One of the first people I ever listened to that talked about this in a way that I really understood was Terrence McKenna. And it wasn't, you know, he did a lot of work with like ethogens and plant medicine and stuff. And to me, that's like really interesting, but the least interesting part of his work in some ways. His Gnostic, Hermetic, alchemical work is really cool. But he also talks a lot about, you know, just how fluid realities really are. You know, we kind of have the space reality that we all share, but then that's like just one piece of this, you know, infinitely interconnected multiverse kind of thing we have going on. And, you know, part of the sacred work, and this is where magicians and hierophants and you know, space travelers or whatever, psychonauts and so on, traverse these different realms and learn to have access, conscious access to them, be able to return to home base and bring back knowledge from these other places. And, you know, you begin to loosen your grip on really what we find so important, what we prioritize in the common world, right? So I feel we also see all of this. It looks like a mirror, right? This person looking into a mirror. So I feel like you're really in this place, losing your grip on the perceptions that you maybe had before, evolving as a being, you know, going into these deeper places, you know, really looking into those mysteries. And, you know, this can be a really fun time. It can be horrifying, you know, as well. It can be very destabilizing. So, as I say to anyone who is doing the work or any kind of the greater work, is make sure in your normal life, your base reality, that you have support. You have anchor points, okay? Like routines. Continuing with your routines. Taking care of yourself, okay? Making sure you're checking in with people, you know? Having somebody that you talk to at least every couple days. You know, family members, a good friend, somebody you trust. If you know, maybe a therapist, a counselor. For me, a lot of times this has been people in recovery, a sponsor of some kind or whatever. Just making sure you have somebody to touch base with. Okay, you need to stay grounded. Feet on the ground, mind in the infinite universe, right? All right, so we have a deer with a little antler. We have some kind of person, almost looks like a cat person, looking face to face. And so we know the deer is a most sacred animal, okay? And when we experience the deer in the wilderness, this is a sacred event. This is where, in Castaneda's work, we decide what are we going to do? Kind of a, you know, are we the fight or flight or freeze? How are we going to either confront or commune with this divine entity that shows itself to us? This is something for you to think about. If you came in contact with a manifestation, some kind of spirit, something sacred that had information for you, some kind of spiritual download, how would you interact with this being? Would you be open and accepting to it, or would you fight it off? Would you turn around and run? Would you pretend it was not there? You know, these are all questions that, and this is a thought experiment, okay? This isn't really real, whatever that means, but a thought experiment, something to contemplate, okay? Maybe write about it, you know, just kind of think about what if? What if? Okay, so we have some corn, and this is a beautiful sign of abundance, a plentiful harvest. This is in that emotional and sacred space here, that metaphysical zone. So I feel like really a time that is plentiful for you emotionally, you know, mentally, and definitely spiritually, okay? At the same time, I want you to go out and have some fun, okay? You have to keep things balanced here. Thinking about this stuff all the time, you know, being immersed in it 24 hours a day, or you're just working and doing spiritual work, that's all good and well, but you need to have also the balance of leisure, rest, fun, enjoyment, passion, sexuality. All of these kinds of things need to come into play, okay? We have, well, this one looks like we have a bridge here, okay? We have a blackbird. We have a person walking. We also have a thorn, okay? So I think definitely on that journey, okay? This is going, the person is facing towards the past. They're walking towards the past. So we're working on something in your psyche from the past. We have a thorn. I feel like you're going to be plucking out a thorn. Something that was painful, something that was hurtful, some kind of coping mechanism, something old that you have kind of been conditioned or you have learned to deal with the pain. You're going to be taking that out. Okay, so this is some important work. We have the blackbird, a messenger. Okay, some kind of message coming through for you. And crossing that bridge, okay, into the new, into the next. And so you have your work cut out for you. I think that you are fully capable, right? But, you know, just like I said, having a support system, putting those people or that plan into use when you need it, okay? Now, we have the Divine Doors Inspiration cards. And I love this deck. I love doors. I love doors of all kind. When I'm out in the world and I see different, you know, openings or pathways, doors, corridors, I get very excited about these types of things. They speak to me. This is imagery that really comes up a lot in my interior work. Okay, and I'm just going to stop where it feels right. Okay, we have this, it looks like this person kind of dancing beneath the sun between a gateway there. And it says, yes, yes. Kiss the ground and touch the sky. Your soul is set now to leap and to fly. All right, there we go. That makes sense. Got that happy, full energy. Get out there and skip and click your heels and enjoy your time. All right, Leo, I want to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you'll be so kind as to like the video, it really does help so much. It helps us get into the algorithm, which we know the algorithm is super important on so many levels. So we like to give it the engagement that it wants and needs. And those are things like liking the video, sharing the readings on other social media platforms, watching the readings from the beginning to the end. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. Let's see what else. Oh, and if you would like to leave a comment, please do. I read all of them, and they mean so much to me. It really is kind of the motivating force that keeps me making these videos, doing these readings day after day. I've gotten to know some of you really well, getting to know some of you that have just kind of joined in the last couple months, and some of you are new, and I would really love to hear from you. You know, what's going on in your life, what brings you here, what kind of, you know, information in these readings resonates with you, and so on. It's a good feeling to be able to feel your energies and kind of begin to have a picture of who I'm reading for. And so, with that, I will say thank you, Leo, and we will talk in just a few days here. Love ya.